Let me be straight with you about something most people are completely blind to right now. While everybody's out here arguing about gas prices and grocery bills, Walmart is quietly pulling the rug out from under millions of shoppers. I've been tracking supplier communication patterns, distribution shifts, and warehouse inventory changes for the better part of 2 years. And what I'm watching unfold right now, it's not subtle. It's a full-scale restructuring of what Walmart stocks, how they stock it, and more importantly, what they're deliberately removing from shelves. This isn't about products getting discontinued because nobody bought them. This is calculated. This is strategic. Walmart is systematically eliminating bulk sizes and large format packages to herd customers into smaller, more expensive options. The math always works in their favor. The customer always loses. And the whole thing happens so gradually that by the time most people figure it out, the damage is already done. I've put together a list of products that are either already gone or on the chopping block through 2026. Some of these will hit you immediately. Others you won't feel until you're standing in an aisle 6 months from now, wondering why your usual item isn't there, and why the replacement costs significantly more. Either way, you deserve to know before it happens, not after. So let's get into it. Product 1. Bounty Paper Towels, 12-pack and larger bulk sizes. Let's start with one that's going to catch a lot of people off guard, because it sounds minor until you run the actual numbers. Bounty isn't going away. The brand isn't disappearing. But Walmart is pulling the 12-pack and larger bulk configurations off shelves, starting March 2026. What's left will be the smaller 4-packs and 6-packs, which are significantly more expensive on a per-roll basis. Right now, a 12-pack of Bounty at Walmart runs about $24. That works out to $20 per roll. Sounds fine. But the moment you're forced into the smaller pack formats, that same roll costs you around $3.50. That's a 75% price increase for the exact same product, just in different packaging. No added value, no improvement in quality, just a smaller box and a bigger hit to your wallet. The reasoning behind this, according to someone I spoke with who works in paper goods distribution, is entirely about shelf productivity. Large packs take up a disproportionate amount of physical shelf space relative to the profit margin they generate per square foot. Walmart would rather put 10 different products in that same space than one large Bounty pack. That's the calculus. That's always been the calculus. What happens when the large packs vanish from Walmart? Demand doesn't disappear, it just moves. Target, Costco, and Amazon are all going to absorb that demand, and when demand spikes in those channels, prices follow. That's basic economics. You want to be ahead of that wave, not caught in it. Paper towels store perfectly. Keep them dry, keep them in the original packaging, and they will be just as good 5 years from now as the day you bought them. A family of 4 going through roughly 2 rolls a week needs around 100 rolls per year. Buy ahead. Your future self will be grateful. Product 2. Hunt's Tomato Paste, 28-ounce cans. This one matters most to people who cook real food from scratch, but the principle behind it applies to everything on this list. Walmart is discontinuing the 28-ounce cans of Hunt's Tomato Paste. They're keeping the small 6-ounce cans, which are per ounce more than double the cost. A 28-ounce can currently runs about $2.50, which is roughly $0.09 per ounce. So you're paying 130% more per ounce, just because Walmart decided the bigger can doesn't fit their current shelf strategy. For anyone who makes their own pasta sauce, chili, soups, or stews, the 28-ounce can is the working unit of a real kitchen. One can handles 3 meals worth of tomato base. The 6-ounce cans are a nuisance and an expense. Canned tomato paste is among the most shelf-stable foods you can buy. Properly stored, it holds for 3 to 5 years without any meaningful quality loss. There is genuinely no risk in buying a significant quantity right now. Cool. Dark pantry space is all you need. This is free money if you use tomato paste with any regularity. Product 3. Tide Liquid Detergent, 150-ounce bottle. The 150-ounce Tide bottle is being phased out at Walmart in early 2026. The plan is to push customers toward either the smaller 75-ounce bottles or the Tide Pod format. Let's look at what that actually costs you. The 150-ounce bottle runs about $24, which breaks down to roughly 16 cents per ounce, and covers about 96 loads. The 75-ounce bottle is about $14, which is 19 cents per ounce. That's an 18% premium per ounce, just for being in a smaller container. But the real shakedown is Tide Pods. A 72-count container goes for around $20, putting you at 28 cents per load versus 16 cents per load with the big bottle. You're looking at a 75% cost increase per load if you end up in the Pods ecosystem. Liquid detergent stores effortlessly. Keep the cap sealed, store bottles upright at room temperature, and they're effective indefinitely. There's no legitimate reason not to stock up on the 150-ounce format before it's pulled. One practical note, You probably don't need as much detergent per load as the label suggests. Modern washing machines are efficient. Half the recommended dose handles most loads without any reduction in cleaning quality. That means your stockpile goes even further. Product 4. Scott's 1000 Count Toilet Paper. If you haven't tried Scott's 1000 Count rolls, you've been overpaying for toilet paper your entire adult life. Each roll delivers about 1,000 sheets, which is equivalent to roughly 4 standard rolls. The math is obscenely favorable compared to any competing product at a comparable price point. A 12-pack currently runs about $21 at Walmart. That's 12,000 total sheets. To match that with conventional rolls, you'd need 48 standard rolls, and those 48 rolls would cost you significantly more. It's one of the most straightforward value calculations in the entire store. Walmart is cutting this. The 1000 count format is getting discontinued. Toilet paper doesn't expire. It doesn't degrade as long as it stays dry. If you have storage space, this is a no-brainer bulk purchase. We all watched what happened in 2020 when toilet paper vanished from shelves inside of 48 hours. Having a legitimate multi-month supply means supply chain disruptions are someone else's problem. Product 5. Hidden Valley Ranch Dressing. 52-ounce bottle. Ranch dressing is not a niche product. Americans consume enormous quantities of it, and Hidden Valley's 52-ounce bottle is the practical choice for any household that uses it regularly. That bottle is being discontinued at Walmart mid-2026. Currently, the 52-ounce bottle costs about $7, which is 13 cents per ounce. The 24-ounce bottle runs $5, which is 21 cents per ounce. Force people into the smaller size, and they're instantly paying 61% more per ounce. Nobody announces this. It just happens, and most people absorb the cost increase without ever connecting it to a deliberate packaging decision. Unopened ranch dressing holds well for about 12 months past the best-by date when stored in a cool pantry. If you want to extend that even further, you can freeze it in sealed containers with room left for expansion. Thaw it in the fridge and give it a shake, and it's fine. Most people don't know that, and most people will end up paying more simply because they didn't act before the big bottles disappeared. Product 6. Ziploc Freezer Bags. Gallon size, 200 count box. This is easy to overlook because it's not a dramatic item, but when you run through the numbers, it's another unnecessary expense being imposed on you through packaging manipulation. The 200 count gallon Ziploc box costs about $28 at Walmart, which is 14 cents per bag. The 80 count boxes run about $13, which is over 16 cents per bag. That's a 14% increase per bag, with no change in product quality. Multiply that across years of use and it adds up. Ziploc bags have no expiration. Plastic doesn't go stale. Keep the boxes somewhere dry and away from prolonged heat exposure, and they'll perform perfectly indefinitely. These are also one of those products that vanishes quickly during supply disruptions, because their utility extends well beyond food storage. Waterproofing documents, organizing hardware, packing travel items, the applications are broad. The 200 count box is being cut. When it goes, the smaller boxes will be the only option, and price per bag goes up automatically. Product 7. Folgers Classic Roast Coffee. 51-ounce container. Pay attention to this one because the coffee situation is compounding from multiple directions simultaneously. Folgers Classic Roast in the 51-ounce container is being discontinued at Walmart in 2026. The brand stays. The big container doesn't. The 51-ounce currently runs about $14, which is 27 cents per ounce. The 25-ounce containers cost about $8, which is 32 cents per ounce. You're immediately paying 18% more just because of the size change. But that's not the whole story. Coffee prices were already climbing before this packaging change, due to supply pressures across growing regions in South America and Africa. So you're getting hit with the raw commodity price increase at the same time you're getting hit with the packaging downsize premium, both at once. That's a significant real-world cost increase per cup of coffee for people who just want their morning routine to stay intact. Ground coffee in a sealed container stays fresh for about 2 years. For longer storage, vacuum-sealed freezer bags work well. Keep it out of the refrigerator unless it's truly airtight. Condensation is the enemy of coffee quality. Product 8. Clorox Bleach 121-ounce bottle. The big Clorox jug is getting pulled. Currently, the 121-ounce bottle costs about $5, which is around 4 cents per ounce. The 64-ounce bottles run about $3.50, which is 5.5 cents per ounce. That's a 37% per ounce premium for the smaller size. Bleach does break down over time. The active chlorine loses potency after about a year in an unopened container. But even slightly degraded bleach still functions as a surface cleaner and deodorizer. Having older bleach is far better than having none. More importantly, bleach has utility beyond laundry and surface cleaning. For water purification in emergency situations, roughly 8 drops of regular bleach per gallon eliminates bacteria and viruses. It's a legitimate preparedness item, and one worth having in significant supply. Store it sealed, in a cool dark location, away from direct sunlight and heat. The original container is the right vessel. Don't transfer it. This one is regional, but if Duke's is available at your Walmart, you already know exactly why it's on this list. Duke's has no sugar. It has a higher egg yolk content. The flavor is noticeably richer and more complex than Hellmann's or any national brand that's been reformulated for mass market appeal. People who have grown up with Duke's in the South don't consider other mayonnaise brands to be adequate substitutes. That's not hyperbole. It's a genuinely different product. The 32-ounce jar runs about $6, which is 19 cents per ounce. The 16-ounce jars cost about $4, which is 25 cents per ounce. Switch to the smaller jar, and you're paying 31% more per ounce for the same product. Unsealed jars keep for several months past the best-by date, if stored in a cool pantry. If your Walmart carries Duke's and you use it, stock up on the 32-ounce format now. When it disappears from Walmart, your options become smaller jars, online purchases at inflated shipping prices, or settling for a product you don't actually prefer. Product 10. Kirkland Signature Products at Walmart. This one is unusual because Kirkland is Costco's house brand, but certain Walmart locations, through third-party distributor arrangements that were never officially publicized, have been carrying select Kirkland items for the past couple of years. Usually nuts, snacks, and pantry staples, often in the clearance section. That arrangement is ending in 2026. Walmart is cutting all Kirkland products because they undermine the positioning of Great Value, Walmart's own house brand. The issue is that Kirkland products are frequently higher quality and better value than Great Value, which creates an awkward internal competition that Walmart has decided to resolve by eliminating the competition. If you see Kirkland items at your Walmart, especially in a clearance section, understand what you're looking at. Those are clearance prices on products that are being removed from that store's inventory. The value is real. Act accordingly. Product 11. Great Value Bacon. 3-pound package. The irony here is considerable. Walmart is discontinuing a bulk size of its own private label brand. The 3-pound Great Value Bacon package runs about $15, which is $5 per pound. When you're forced into 1-pound packages at $6 each, 3 pounds costs $8. That's a 20% price increase on Walmart's own product, engineered through packaging alone. Bacon freezes exceptionally well. Unopened packages maintain quality for 6 to 8 months in the freezer. You can freeze the 3-pound package whole or divide it into 1-pound portions for more manageable thawing. Either approach works. Beyond the cost angle, bacon is genuinely valuable in a well-stocked kitchen. It adds flavor to otherwise plain meals. The rendered fat is a superior cooking medium for eggs and vegetables, and it's a morale item, food that makes other food noticeably better. The 3-pound packages are the move right now, while they still exist. Product 12. Lysol Disinfectant Spray. 19-ounce cans. Lysol in the 19-ounce can is being cut. Walmart is keeping the 12-ounce size. The 19-ounce can costs about $6, which is 32 cents per ounce. The 12-ounce cans run about $5, which is 42 cents per ounce. That's a 31% jump per ounce for the same product in smaller packaging. The active disinfecting agents in Lysol spray remain effective for approximately 2 years. After that point, it functions as a general-purpose cleaner and deodorizer, which still has obvious utility for households with children, elderly family members, or anyone immunocompromised. Keeping an adequate supply of an effective disinfectant isn't paranoia, it's basic household management. Store the cans in a cool, dry location away from heat sources. Aerosol cans under heat become a safety concern. So this isn't optional guidance. It's important. Product 13. Gain Liquid Fabric Softener. 105-ounce bottle. The 105-ounce Gain bottle is going away. At about $10 for 105 ounces, you're paying 9.5 cents per ounce. The 51-ounce bottles cost about $6, which is 12 cents per ounce. Force customers into the smaller bottle, and you've just engineered a 26% price increase without changing a single thing about the product. Fabric softener doesn't expire in any meaningful way. It can separate as it sits, but shaking the bottle homogenizes it again. The product itself remains fully functional indefinitely. This makes it a low-risk stockpile item. Buy now at the better per-ounce price, use it over the next year or two, and avoid the price hike entirely. Product 14. Maxwell House Coffee. 170-ounce canister. This is the one I mentioned that affects roughly 70% of households, and the reason is simple. Maxwell House is the most widely consumed coffee brand in the country. The 170-ounce canister is the format that families who go through a lot of coffee rely on. That canister is being phased out. At about $20 for 170 ounces, you're paying 12 cents per ounce. Smaller sizes are significantly more expensive per ounce. When the large format disappears and everyone migrates to smaller canisters, the per-cup cost of your morning coffee goes up without any announcement, any press release, or any acknowledgement from Walmart. Sealed, the 170-ounce canister holds quality for approximately 2 years. Store it in a cool, dry location away from light. Don't refrigerate unless it's airtight. Temperature cycling introduces moisture, which degrades coffee faster than simple aging does. If Maxwell House is your household coffee, buy the 170-ounce format now, aggressively. When it's gone, you're paying more per cup indefinitely. Product 15. Cheerios. Family-size 20-ounce box. Straightforward and predictable, the family-size Cheerios box is getting cut. The 20-ounce box runs about $5, which is 25 cents per ounce. Smaller boxes are more expensive per ounce. Sealed cereal stays fresh for 6 to 8 months. Cheerios specifically are a breakfast staple in a huge number of households, from young children through adults, and the family-size format is the rational purchase for anyone who goes through cereal consistently. When the big box disappears, the per-ounce cost goes up automatically. If your household runs through Cheerios regularly, the calculation here is simple. Product 16. Charmin Ultra Soft Mega Roll 30-count package. The 30-count Charmin Mega Roll package is being discontinued. Walmart is keeping smaller count packages which cost more per roll. At about $40 for 30 rolls, you're at roughly $1.33 per roll. Smaller packages push that per roll cost up noticeably. For toilet paper you're going to use regardless. Paying more per roll, because the large format isn't available, is a purely unnecessary expense. Toilet paper stores indefinitely when kept dry. 4 30-count packages gets you 120 rolls, which for most families is well over a year of supply. That's not hoarding. That's intelligent purchasing ahead of a predictable price increase. Product 17. Bounce Dryer Sheets. 240-count box. The large format dryer sheet box is getting cut at Walmart. The 240-count box runs about $8, which is about 3 cents per sheet. Smaller boxes charge more per sheet. Dryer sheets don't expire, they don't degrade chemically in storage. Keeping a few boxes in a sealed container in your laundry room is effortless and costs nothing in terms of management. This is one of those items where the price difference per unit seems small, until you calculate how many sheets you use annually and what that difference compounds to over a couple of years. Then it's not trivial anymore. Product 18. Glad Trash Bags. 140-count box. The 140-count bulk box is getting discontinued. Smaller count boxes become the only option. Currently, the 140-count box costs about $25, which is 18 cents per bag. Smaller boxes typically run 22 cents per bag or more. For a product you use every single day, that per unit difference matters. 6 140-count boxes gives you 840 bags, roughly 2 years of supply for most households. The storage footprint is manageable, the product doesn't degrade, and the savings over 2 years of buying smaller boxes are real. Trash bags are also a multi-use emergency preparedness item. Waterproofing, waste containment, ground cover, improvised storage, the applications extend well beyond the kitchen waste bin. Having a deep supply is genuinely useful, not just a cost-saving measure. Product 19. Arm & Hammer Baking Soda. 13-pound bag. The large format baking soda bag is being discontinued. The 13-pound bag costs about $10, which is roughly 77 cents per pound. Small boxes charge significantly more per pound. Baking soda stored in a sealed container away from moisture lasts essentially indefinitely. There is no realistic expiration concern with this product. Baking soda is also among the most versatile substances in your home. Baking, cleaning, odor absorption, fire suppression for small grease fires, mild abrasive scrubbing, pH balancing in pools and aquariums. The applications are substantial. The 13-pound bag is worth buying in multiples if you have storage space. Product 20. Cascade Dishwasher Pods. 115-count container. The 11 15-count Cascade container is being phased out. At about $18 for 115 pods, you're paying around 16 cents per pod. Smaller containers push that to 20 cents or more per pod. For a product used daily by anyone with a dishwasher, that per pod difference adds up meaningfully over a year. Dishwasher pods store well as long as they're kept dry and sealed. Moisture is the enemy. It causes them to dissolve prematurely or clump together. Keep the container sealed until you open it, and store it in a dry cabinet away from the sink. Product 21. Heinz Ketchup. 11 14-ounce bulk jug. Let's keep going, because Walmart's cuts extend beyond what most people are watching. The Heinz 114-ounce jug, the kind you'd see at family gatherings or buy for households that go through ketchup quickly, is being removed from Walmart's shelf set. The 114-ounce jug runs about $8, which is about 7 cents per ounce. Standard 32-ounce bottles cost around $4, which is about 12.5 cents per ounce. Buy the smaller bottles and you're paying nearly 80% more per ounce for ketchup. Same product, same factory, smaller package, bigger cost. Unopened ketchup holds for about 18 months to 2 years in a cool, dark pantry. It's shelf-stable, inexpensive at the bulk price point, and something almost every household uses. If you have pantry space, the 114-ounce jugs are worth purchasing before they're gone. Product 22, Members Mark equivalent products being replaced by Great Value. Here's a broader pattern worth understanding. Walmart is aggressively consolidating shelf space around its Great Value private label. Any product, regardless of brand or format, that competes with Great Value's margin profile or shelf position is a candidate for removal. This isn't just about specific SKUs. It's a strategic direction. The practical implication is that if you have a preferred brand in a particular category and it's not Walmart's house brand, pay attention to whether it's still being actively restocked. Empty shelves that don't get refilled are the early signal. Reduced facings, fewer rows of a product on the shelf are another indicator. These are the signs that a product is being quietly wound down before any official announcement is made. Product 23. Quaker Oats. Old-fashioned rolled oats. 10-pound bag. The 10-pound bag of Quaker old-fashioned oats is being cut from Walmart's inventory. The 10-pound bag runs about $12, which is $1.20 per pound. The 42-ounce containers cost about $5.50, which is about $2.10 per pound. That's a 75% increase per pound when you're forced into the smaller container. Rolled oats stored in an airtight container away from moisture last up to 2 years with no meaningful quality loss, and even longer in proper conditions. They're among the most nutritionally dense, shelf-stable, affordable bulk food items you can stockpile. If you eat oatmeal regularly, cook with oats, or keep them for baking, the 10-pound bag format is worth stocking up on now. Product 24. Hellmann's Mayonnaise, 64-ounce jar. While we're in the mayonnaise category, the Hellmann's 64-ounce jar is also on the chopping block at multiple Walmart locations. The 64-ounce jar runs about $9, which is about 14 cents per ounce. The 30-ounce jars cost around $5, which is about 17 cents per ounce. You're paying 21% more per ounce once the large jar disappears. Unopened mayonnaise stores well for several months past the best-by date in a cool, dark pantry. It's not the most dramatic stockpile item on this list, but for households that use mayonnaise regularly in cooking, sandwiches, and dressings, the per-ounce savings on the larger format are real, and the window to capture them is closing. Product 25. Pam Cooking Spray, 12-ounce cans. Multi-pack format for Pam Cooking Spray is being discontinued at Walmart in favor of individual can sales. Multi-pack pricing brings the per-can cost down by about 20 to 25% compared to buying cans individually. When the multi-pack format disappears, you're back to paying individual can prices for every purchase. For something you probably go through a can of every few weeks, that's a consistent, recurring, unnecessary expense. Cooking spray doesn't expire quickly. Unopened cans hold well for 2 or more years. If you use Pam or any cooking spray regularly, buying the multi-pack format while it's still available at Walmart is a straightforward decision. The pattern you need to understand. 25 products across a dozen categories, different brands, different types, different use cases. But the pattern is absolutely consistent across every single one. Walmart is eliminating large format and bulk packaging. Every product being cut is the biggest size available. The replacement is always a smaller container that costs more per unit. The savings you were capturing by buying in bulk get quietly eliminated. And unless you're actively doing per-unit math at the shelf, which almost nobody does, you absorb the price increase without ever fully understanding what happened. Here's the underlying logic from Walmart's perspective. A large package generates more dollar revenue per sale, but occupies more physical shelf space. Shelf space is a finite, valuable resource. By replacing one large package with 2 or 3 smaller packages in the same shelf space, Walmart captures more total transactions, generates more revenue per linear foot of shelf, and maintains higher per-unit margins. The customer pays more, the retailer profits more. The math is clean from a business perspective. The second layer is private label strategy. Any large format national brand that competes with Great Value in terms of perceived value gets deprioritized. Walmart would rather you buy Great Value than Bounty, Tide, or Cascade. The way to make that happen isn't to remove the national brand entirely. That creates backlash. The way to do it is to remove the large format national brand that offers genuine per-unit savings, leaving only the smaller, more expensive configurations that make Great Value's pricing look more attractive by comparison. This has been Walmart's playbook for years, but the pace is accelerating in 2026. The combination of supply chain restructuring, private label expansion and shelf space optimization is hitting simultaneously, and the products affected are exactly the ones that millions of households depend on weekly. What you should actually do with this information. Be realistic about what you'll use. There's no point buying 6 months of fabric softener if you realize you've never actually cared that much about fabric softener. Focus your purchasing energy on the items that are genuinely central to your household routine. Do the per-unit math before you buy anything. The whole point of acting now is to capture the bulk pricing before it disappears. Verify the current price, calculate cost per ounce or per unit, and confirm you're actually getting the better deal. Most of the time you will be, but verify rather than assume. Think about storage realistically. Paper goods store anywhere dry. Cleaning products need to stay away from heat and direct sunlight. Food items need cool, dark conditions. You don't need a dedicated storage room. A few square feet of closet or cabinet space handles most of this if you're organized about it. Rotate your stock. For anything with a shelf life, use the oldest items first and put newer purchases behind them. This is basic food storage practice, but it's worth stating plainly. Stockpiling is only useful if the items remain in good condition when you need them. Don't panic buy everything at once. Spread purchases across a few weeks. You're not racing against a deadline. You're getting ahead of a gradual transition. Steady, deliberate purchasing is better than one frantic shopping trip. The bigger picture, the reason this kind of information matters beyond just saving money on paper towels and laundry detergent is that it represents a broader reality about how retail pricing actually works. Price increases don't usually arrive as a number change on the shelf tag. That's visible. That creates friction. That invites comparison shopping. Instead, price increases arrive as package resizes. The number on the tag stays the same, or moves only slightly, but the package shrinks. The per-unit cost goes up. But most shoppers don't notice because they're not running the math in the aisle. Walmart is executing this across dozens of product categories simultaneously in 2026. The customers who catch it early, act while the large formats are still available, and understand what's driving the changes will pay meaningfully less for household staples over the next 2 to 3 years than customers who don't. That's not speculation. That's arithmetic. You've got the information now. Use it before the window closes.